Hello everyone and welcome to my channel, and today I'll be reading a multi-character extruder by me. So let's get into it. Child, when you first challenge him to pick you up with one arm, you don't expect him to actually agree. I mean, who are we kidding exactly? He doesn't look like he has any muscles at all. Except in his foul legacy form, which is another problem, but we don't talk about that here. The thing is, he looks like a twink, like he wouldn't be able to carry his own breakfast. But, surprisingly, he agrees. And you expect him to fall on just the two of you laugh at it and it goes away after. But no. Child actually manages to pick you up with one arm and smiles, walking around with you and refusing to let you down. So you were just walking around in Leo Harbor. Well, you were not walking around since Child was the one walking around and carrying you. But still, it was embarrassing. And you were blushing the entire time, burying your face in your hands, as if that somehow will hide you and not make people know who Child was carrying. As if Child would only ever carry you around, and he's so giddy about it. He teases you about it for at least a month, and probably even more. Albedo. Albedo does not have to be strong, and he doesn't seem like it either. In fact, he does look quite small, and not really strong, like I said. But he wields a weapon, a sword, and he can wield it pretty well, as you've seen before. So it's more of a surprise, really, when you ask him to carry you with one arm. You really thought he was just not going to, but he just smiled. Smiled that one smile that dictated your downfall, and you knew you were in for a big, big surprise because he managed to do it. And you were just blushing, utterly confused on how you could do this. Just what kind of witchery was this? There was no way this Albedo could carry you. And not with two arms, no, just one. And it just so happened that one of his assistants came and saw you. You started blushing, embarrassed, while Albedo only smirked, asking them if they needed anything. Of course, they quickly realized how private of a moment they were intruding upon, and laughed. But that was not going to save the embarrassment, or the teasing that you were going to get from Albedo. This was a lot to put up with. But hey, he won, fair and square. Hopefully that was the case. Venti. Venti actually probably wouldn't be able to pick you up, but he would try to cheat his way through. You told him, no powers. And of course he agreed. But then you noticed that he wasn't kind of doing all the work. He just had a little bit of wind, helping him lift you up, and you kept walking around, showing everyone how strong he was. But you knew very well that he was cheating, and he was not winning. But if there was something that he definitely won, though, it was your heart and the kiss. And since just one kiss was not enough, he had given you multiple more. A couple kisses, actually. And those few kisses turned into a makeout session soon enough. And you decided that maybe you'll let him win. And that was just what Venti wanted to hear from you. And he was pretty satisfied after that. I mean, those were his powers. He was using his strength, just a little bit more with the elements. Kazuha. Kazuha is actually very strong, so you expect him to be able to win. But what you don't expect is him just doing it straight away, no questions asked. He just nods, does it? And you're a blushing mess. Because even though he was short, he was still immensely strong. Strong enough to make you a damn blushing mess. And you were just walking around, telling him to go to the secluded area, and even though he could just simply put you down and no one would notice, you liked it. And you wanted to be carried by him a little bit more. You wanted that feeling, and you loved it. And Kaza could definitely see that. He wasn't going to tease you though. You were already blushing, and that's a little bit too much for your heart, wasn't it? He kissed you softly after he got you down, and told you that you're pretty easy to carry. He's carried 100 more things, and you're one of the things that he actually loved carrying. So this was probably bound to happen a little bit more in the future. Who knows? But he definitely wouldn't mind having to. Scaramouche. Well, Scara was a harbinger, right? And you expect this to be like nothing for him. But unexpectedly, it was a little bit difficult, which was kind of weird. He didn't see it at all. But after picking you up, which he managed to do surprisingly, he put you down almost immediately, blushing, telling you that it was tiring. And he just laughed shyly, kissing him, and telling him that he won anyway. He was strong, strong enough to be able to pick you up. And that was enough for you. Actually, more than enough. And for that, Scaramouche deserved at least 10 kisses, and you were going to give him very good ones. Xiao, you were almost certain he would be able to do this, but the problem would not be with his strength. No, no. It would be with his own courage and shyness. He would just feel nervous about it unless he actually had to pick you up, but otherwise, he wouldn't deem it necessary. Especially if he could just hold your hand and teleport you away. Or even without holding your hand. It wouldn't be an issue. But carrying you felt unnecessary and quite romantic, and it would make him blush. A lot. But eventually you get him to give in. And he actually tries. And you feel those muscles on his arm. And that, alone, is enough to make you a little bit of a mess. Melting. And this was the first time that Xiao actually made you blush. And he kept carrying you for a while, which you didn't see coming. But then when you looked down, you could see him smirking to himself. He was actually happy that he made you blush, and that was enough to keep him going. So hey, maybe if you react more, he'll get more courageous and try more different things. Who knows? But this was certainly a positive reaction.